like it's only Facebook and
there
okay,
we go.
I think we're in.
Okay.
I think I'm in. It says live. We're doing it live again.
Do it live. We're doing live.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was weird. It was funny, like how you put me in the backstage. It was
Yeah.
sitting there kind of like making it sound like I was getting a massage or something. It was all this gentle sounding music. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Hey
it.
guys,
love
I
it.
know we're working with a new program here, so we're trying to figure the bugs out on this. So sorry guys. Hopefully the stream works out well, but it looks like we're live on YouTube and all of our platforms, so which is great. So
Absolutely. There you
let's
go.
get into it. Welcome to
awesome.
Bolt Bros once again, guys. Here's our Sunday stream, which seems to be our schedule these days.
Absolutely.
But once again, my name's James. I'm one of the Bolt Bros. My two bros are out in San Diego right now, Kyle
That's
and Andy.
right.
Yeah.
Look at that. What do you know? They're together. Two-thirds of the Bolt Bros are together.
Yup.
You should be here, brother.
Yeah,
you should be
I
here.
know,
Yeah,
I
man,
know,
where you
I
at?
know. It would have been nice. You know, we're about to get a monsoon here shortly, so we'll see if I keep power here. You know, so we might not have power like what happened last time. So it took out all power from us. Internet was gone, and we didn't have power till like 1:30 in the morning. So it was great.
Wow, are you serious?
Oh man.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. So either way, Bull Bros, we're about talking about the Chargers and its opponents. So once again, I got my two brothers here, Andy and Kyle. And then
Let's go.
we got a pretty good show today. So let's get into it. Bolt Bros, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Woo wee. There we
Woo.
is. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we're back.
So,
Yeah.
cool episode we're going to talk today. I mean, we got, and
Right.
obviously anybody that wants to jump in the chat, please throw in questions. We'll see it on our screens here. I think we got a couple of them already there from Aether, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So we got all of our streams and all of our social platforms already ready to go too. So it should be under YouTube, Twitch. What do we got here? What else? What other platforms are we on? Facebook.
Twitter. We got the tweets.
We got
the tweets.
We got Twitter now,
tweeting
and
around
it's
here.
on Instagram as well. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know
Instagram,
what
yeah.
it looks like. I mean, at all. So
So
I'm
we
trying to
got a
jump
lot
on
of
there,
them on
like-
there.
yeah.
We got to make that
Cool.
work.
So
Yeah.
please throw up any questions that you guys do have today, but we do have kind of a plan of what we want to talk about today. So
For sure.
kind of the subject that we've been kind of dawning on, and actually last week was kind of a cool episode because I felt like a lot of people appreciated that we talked about some of the pain points and some of the
Absolutely.
issues that we have with the Chargers.
Oh,
And
so there you go.
you know, we all think that everything's great and everything looks good, and we got the dream team, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl. But we always got room as Chargers fans for concerns. So appreciate you guys giving us feedback on last week's episode. But today we're going to talk about what a successful season would be like for the 2022 Chargers, and I think that's a pretty good topic to talk about too. I didn't even ask you, Kyle or Andy. Did you guys have any other, like, I don't know, announcements or anything at all?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got the streamer coming down right at the bottom here.
Cool.
So this is pretty much it. So
Mhm.
one of the things I will say too is Kyle and I are going to be at opening day of the training camp on the 27th.
Yep.
So we're actually going to try and do a little live episode. It's going to be on our cell phones. Again, big reason why we're doing this is we're planning on doing episodes like James and I would watch the episodes live like this, and then
Mhm.
Kyle would be at the stadium
Yep.
watching the game, maybe interviewing fans and
Mhm.
kind of having some fun with it. So again, this is sort of trying to figure out to, how are we going to make this work and,
Yeah.
make it be good and entertaining for you guys as well too, right?
Exactly.
Again, that's the whole point.
Yeah, and there's gonna be some times, of course, that one of the bros is gonna be with me at the stadium too.
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
but
Or maybe all three of us will be there too.
Absolutely,
maybe
absolutely.
that's the whole
Yep.
goal for sure. We're gonna make that happen. Yeah, make
Yep.
that work
Yep.
for sure. But yeah, like we're excited. Actually, I actually convinced him to stick around for a little bit longer so he can go to opening day training camp with me.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna have a good time. And I'm gonna introduce him to all the people at Thunder Alley. And stuff.
Thunder Alley.
So,
It should be exciting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Thunder Alley's got a big event going. It's the first day of training camp. Pretty excited. I'll get my scouting glasses on, I'll say, okay, Justin Herbert's looking sharp. He's tossing the ball pretty well, Oh, Spiller's looking good. He's carrying the ball like a champion. All the above. You know how that goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
It was interesting that you bring up Spiller. I watched this random video and they were talking about that he could be the next Le'Veon Bell because he's a little bit patient, just like Le'Veon Bell. So it was just kind of a random talk or thoughts that I saw that I was like thinking, man, that would be really a massive, for a 2-punch or an RB2 for us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, having a Le'Veon Bell that's like prime Le'Veon Bell, I should say.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Exactly.
That would be
Right.
incredible. But Kyle, any other questions or any updates? I know you got the upcoming thing in Carlsbad too with the opening day training camp, and then you also have a baby shower, I believe, in Carlsbad.
Yeah, so in July 30th, it's another camp day that I'll be attending. And afterwards, there's actually 2 events going on right now. The big one is the Thunder Alley is putting on another barbecue, and it's also a baby shower for SDCA Osito. So it's a whole all-day event, and it's down here in Carlsbad. It's on July 30th. So if you're around or if you're you got nothing else to do, go ahead and roll through. There's going to be tons of beer, tons of food, tons of just hanging out, having a good time. And then there's also a Die Hard Bolt Club event going on, and I think Donald Parham is actually going to be there.
Nice.
At the event.
Really?
And it's going to be at Hooters. There's just going to be a bunch of people there getting some breasts and wings, So
Nobody goes to Hooters for wings, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that's how it is, right? Ain't nobody go to Hooters for wings.
Yeah, you go for the chicken breasts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I
That's
love it. I
right.
love it. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's great. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's good times, So I may actually be able to go to that one for a little bit, but I probably won't be able to go down to the Carlsbad one. So yeah. But yeah, it'll be a good time. And I know there's a whole bunch of people that are going to be down there. There's the Chargers dolls, Los Rayos, the Bolt Rachos, Bolt Dogs, probably. Actually, a lot of them are probably going to be at the barbecue because a lot of them are coming to the 27th event or opening day of camp as opposed to going to that. So we'll see. It'll be a good time no matter what, though.
That sounds awesome.
See, I also do want to say this as well, is that I started I'm toying around with the idea of fantasy football league for all being for either the fans to be involved with us, or I would really like to call out the director, Guilty as Charged.
All the podcasters,
all the other Chargers podcast groups. Let's set up a whole league. To play some fantasy football together. Just I
think it'd be a good idea.
I think it'd be fun.
It'd be super fun.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Hey, I got no problem if we do it with just the podcasters and we do it with the fans too. We have 2 leagues going on. I think
we got awesome. 2 different leagues. Yeah. So yeah.
$100 buy-in, baby. $100 buy-in. Winner takes all. Let's go.
Yeah. And I'm thinking,
hey, let's make it a rack. Let's make it a rack.
Yeah. And I'm
put a rack on it, dude. Rack on it.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Exactly. Because I would really like to do is actually get one of those actually legit fantasy trophies.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We need to make that happen.
We'll have a big one that just kind of stays with with one of us or something, and then whoever wins will actually get the fantasy ring. And maybe they'll get the little mini Lombardi trophy or something, Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I think it'll be really fun. So if you guys are out there in listening to the other people, hit them up, let them know that we actually we want to set this thing up. So how many people are out there? I think there's the director, obviously, Chargers Chat,
yeah.
Guilty as Charged, Locked On Chargers, Bolt Dad. Why not? I think Craig Smith is another good one.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Heck, I would even love the Chargers Weekly. Get a Matt Money Smith and
Matt Money, Chris Hayre.
And then Mills on the mic as well. She's another.
I
like that. So
that'd
I don't know,
awesome.
but let's get the word out there. Let's try and get them involved.
Let's do it. That'd be great.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I'm into that. Now my mind keeps thinking about fantasy football. We're getting into August. That's when it really starts getting cracking.
Chargers Unleashed as well.
Chargers Unleashed is another one. I like that. I like that.
That'd be awesome.
Good.
So cool. Well, let's try to jump into the episode here and let's chat it up here. So I think my 2 bros, Kyle and Andrew, are going to be kind of winging it a little bit on this. So I'm going to try to lead them, and hopefully they'll bring up some good information here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So go for it.
today's episode's about what a successful season would be for the 2022 Chargers. You know, I mean, we all have huge ideas and thoughts of where we're going to go with this team. I mean,
20-0, baby. 20-0, Super Bowl. That's all. We're going to win it all.
Yeah, that's it. We're going 20-0. You know, that's what we always say, 20-0. And I'm going to if we start the first 2 weeks, 2-0, I'm like, we're going to be 20-0. We're going all the way for sure.
Absolutely.
Every week until we lose. But I kind of want to be able to think like these are things that I'm thinking about, and these are things that I'm thinking as in for what we need to be able to have as a successful season, just to feel like we really gained something this year and we actually got to the next level, I guess, is what I'm looking at.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have so many amazing, players that jumped into this team. We got a great coach. I feel very strongly that he's going to get us to that next level. I think these are just little things that we're talking about, which we would love to hear your guys' opinions on this and some of your guys' thoughts of things that would require us to have a successful season. So the first one to me, I think is completely obvious, and we're not that far off, in my opinion, is sweep the Chiefs. That's key.
That is clutch.
And if you think about last year, we almost did it last year, right?
We almost did it last year. We were so close. We were so close.
We lost an OT on that second game. Basically was a Kelsey touchdown that pretty much ended it in OT.
That was just ridiculous. Busted coverage, 100%.
The worst. I mean, that was terrible to watch. But we need that to happen to be able to really just get a hold of this division, and just for us and any team in the division for that part, I should say too. I looked at the stats against the record against Patrick Mahomes since he's been in the AFC West, or been in the league, I should say. 21-3. He's 21-3 versus the AFC West.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, are you
21-3. So basically, since 2015, and Andy Reid's been in the league, he's 36-6 versus AFC West. I mean, that's why they've won all the division championships, and that's I mean, they beat us up.
Yep.
They beat us up. So
you bring up a really good point, though, right? At the end of the day, right, we keep thinking, the Chargers are going to win it all. The Chargers are going to win. We can be as positive as we want, but we still haven't proven we can beat them over and over again like we need to, right? And look, again, I've had so many conversations about the Chargers this whole trip, and and I was chatting with one of our friends and cousins, and they were rambling on about the Broncos, and Russ is going to smoke everybody in this division. And, he's convinced that they're going to win the division, right? But so if you're a fan of your team, you're obviously going to pick your team, right?
Sure.
100% biased, the whole deal. Having said that, when I think of it objectively, when I just really think of what really let us down last year, it was the defense. And we revamped the defense 110% this year. So my thought is this. In order for us to beat the Chiefs or sweep the Chiefs, as you discussed, all we have to do is be a top 10 defense. Yep. I think we have a top 10 defense on paper. Yep. If we're a top 10 defense, we are going to win the division, right? And then hopefully go on a nice playoff run, right? So we can continue talking a little bit more about what we want to do really for the season, and why do you think we can make it happen? But I don't know, what are your thoughts on that, Kyle?
I honestly think if we really want to beat the Chiefs, we have to just keep the ball out of his hands as much as possible.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, and that could just mean like just having really long offensive drives. Like if we can have like stretch out our drives to like maybe 8 minutes a time or whatever, that should be good. And that could mean that our run game really needs to be on top.
Yes.
And really just using that, because obviously you can take out a huge chunk of the field by just throwing the ball constantly.
Yep.
But if you want to like chew up that clock, you got to make sure that you can run left, run right, run mid. And just and then we got Eckler coming up. He's doing good. Spiller, hopefully he'll take up that the slack where Eckler leaves off or whatever. So, I mean, that's just my thought. I mean, but yeah, sweeping the Chiefs is going to be 100% clutch.
Absolutely.
Like that I think probably that's his bare minimum what has to happen this season.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it's a great point that you bring up the running game, and I think the strategy that they did with like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and such to be able to just keep them off the field, long drives. Now, once again with the Chiefs, I don't think their defense is going to be that good at all.
No, they're going to
that's
struggle.
going to be very hard to do long drives on them.
Yep.
Because
Well, and remember last year too, the defense initially for the Chiefs was really bad at the beginning of last year.
terrible.
They got much better towards the end of the season last year, but again, it took them some time, right? So continue.
Agreed. And then in coming back to Andy's point about the top 10 defense too, I know Aether brought up a question. He says he's talking about basically he wants to hear our thoughts on our defense will dominate in the playoffs to the Super Bowl title. And really, I think, to be honest, that's the key to everything. I mean, what's offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
100%.
And if you go back to like Eli Manning and his wins in the Super Bowl and such, it was the defense that really helped out that win. I mean, defense makes a huge, huge difference. Do you think Joe Flacco really won the Super Bowl for the Ravens? No.
I mean, even Ben Roethlisberger, he was an okay quarterback.
Yep.
Wasn't great.
Yep.
Wasn't great. But defense.
Yeah.
Defense makes a huge difference in trying to be able to have a successful playoff run. So absolutely, I think that's definitely the case. And if we could just get top 10, I mean, I'm good with that. We could not be bottom of the league and against the rush or the run. Like that would be massive for us. And I have great expectations for that for the season. I did want to kind of go over just the records that we have each team has against Patrick Mahomes since he's been in the AFC West as a starter. So Chargers are 2-5, and we're the top team in the division versus Mahomes. I mean, that's crazy to look at 2-5. Raiders 1-7.
Yep.
Broncos 0-9.
Oh, yeah. Broncos have not beat him at all.
That is awful. I mean, it's tough as a Broncos fan, and now you got to come in here. Now you got Russell Wilson and everything. You think, okay, maybe we could actually do it this year. And obviously, I think Broncos are the more well-balanced team outside of the Chargers. But Mahomes is gonna Mahomes, man. If you let him Mahomes, he'll Mahomes you out of that stadium.
Get off me, Holmes. Get off me, Holmes. So I mean, you bring up a good point, right? I mean, when we talk about defense, I mean, think about how good we were last year, right? Last year's a perfect example that the defense wins championships because guess what? We were top 5. I think we were number 3 in the league in offense, but bottom of the league in defense, right?
Yep.
And we still almost made the playoffs. Quite frankly, we should have made the playoffs,
right?
But secondarily, right at the end of the day, that's what ultimately hurt us, and that would have hurt us in the playoffs as well too. Then every game would have been a shootout, and every game would have been difficult, and we would have, had to press, and it's been difficult. I mean, huge. You need a defense to be successful. So, last year was a great example of that.
Yep, absolutely. And I know a question came up too, asking about, do you think this team would compare to the Bucs of 2003? The thing about it is with the 2003 Bucs, like I think they were only 7-9. So I would hope we would not have a losing record. I mean, if we were to have a losing record, I mean, that would be a catastrophe as a season, in my opinion. I mean, you can even go back to the Eagles when they built that dream team that they had, and they basically didn't do very well either. And I think the thing is, though, like hopefully third time's a charm if you're trying to build if you're a team that could be a dream team, I guess, that they actually have the right mindset in this. And I think with the Chargers, and based upon some of the offseason interviews that they've had, hey, we're just a paper team right now. We still got to go out on the field and make it happen. So
100%.
You know what? I always will compare, as in Chargers history, is the 14-2 Chargers. I don't want to be the 14-2 Chargers. I want to be the 2022 Chargers this season and win it all. Let's get that.
100%. It only matters in the playoffs, right? I mean, Sheila Manning, he was 7-9. They just limped in and they just won it, right? And look, I mean, bottom line, you got to have your best football at the end of the season, right? You can make that happen. Agreed. Life is good. Life is good. So, I mean, look, you're right. We're a paper team. Things need to change. But boy, I tell you what, even going back to last year, and the more I keep reading about the Chargers this season, we talked about the hot seat. Yeah. Staley's on the hot seat. Telesco's probably on the hot seat too. I mean, look, Spanos, the owner, has put a lot of money into this team right now.
Yep.
We don't perform, it's going to be ugly, right? So give us your thoughts on that, right? I mean, what would happen if, we didn't make the playoffs this year to our staff? I mean, it could be really interesting.
No, it would totally be really bad, obviously. Like, I mean, honestly, that is my biggest worry about this season. It's like we put so much into the team in this offseason.
Big time.
And if we don't at minimum, like sweep the Chiefs, win the division, like how much of a joke are we going to be continually still for the rest of the league? You know,
100%.
like it has been our plague ever since the beginning of time, the beginning of the Super Bowl, essentially, because like we've always kind of been on the cusp ever since like the 70s with Dan Fouts and stuff. And you know, it's just that's my biggest fear is that like, you know, we have like literally a dream team right now. And you know, like, and everyone's super hyped about us. Everyone's scared about us on paper, but I want them to be scared about us on the field, you know?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we'd love to do that. I actually, just a clarification on the Bucks team. I think he was chatting about the 02 Bucks that won the Super Bowl in 03.
Yeah.
And how John Gruden was traded to Tampa Bay and then beating the Raiders in the Super Bowl. That was definitely a very revenge-based kind of game. And I remember that one specifically. And I remember there was like an offensive lineman for the Raiders that ended up disappearing. And I think he went down to Tijuana or something and just got lost out there or something.
Hey, that happens in TJ.
Yeah.
We were just talking about going down to TJ. I was like, I don't know about that. I want to keep my liver inside my body.
Yeah,
right
we're kind of, we're like,
we're good. I don't think so. We're
good. Yeah. I mean, there's maybe a revenge element to the season, but I don't think it's truly the same level as that type of revenge level. Because I mean, like if we play against the Rams and then we go against Sean McVay and then we got Brandon Staley, there's a little bit of a revenge element.
That would be amazing.
That would be incredible to watch. But yeah, I don't know. You know, I wouldn't put it in that same level, in my opinion. I mean, that was definitely John Gruden's getting back at the Raiders, in my opinion. We're going to open the season, a must-win game against the FTR. You know, Family Trust Respect, right? Going in October, 3-0. Yeah. You know, I think there's a great chance that we could really go in to the bye week, even potentially undefeated, in my opinion. So that's something we could talk about down the road.
That's the hopeful.
That's definitely the hope.
That's the wish.
Yep.
You know,
definitely the wish. Please.
Pray to the mighty the football gods. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and guys, obviously put your questions in the chat as well too. So for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's we can highlight some of these here. Let's go to another one here. So,
we could go to the next point too if you want, or if you want to jump to the question.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next point and then we'll go to Bolta Baby's question here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know with the Chargers, and even last year they were that way, but I feel like sometimes, and even actually Herbert even chatted about this in the offseason. He said, bottom line, we need to play a very consistent game.
Correct.
As 100%. A team. I mean,
and
it's interesting. I was watching a video and they were chatting about how, and I think I sent it over to you bros, about one of the big things that Herbert had last year as a bad stat, where there could be a decline for him this season. And I thought it was an interesting video because it highlighted that the first and second downs for the Chargers, Herbert wasn't that good. But third and fourth, he was elite. And so is that play calling? Is it just maybe the run game wasn't working, or was it the drop passes? Whatever it is, for some reason, Herbert was just not good on first and second downs. And so I think he noticed that and understood that. I think he's trying to figure out how to be more consistent coming into this season. And I think that offensively, now they're in the second year into this offense, I think they might have a rhythm to get a better understanding of how to be better on first and second downs.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, so that's something there that I think we just need to keep the foot on the gas and stop having these games where we're just like heart attacks and getting cardio every single game. Like, we need to stop that. Foot on the gas, keep going, and push forward and dominate. Like, because there was a lot of games last year where we were like, holy smokes. Like, you guys went to the Steelers game. That was wild.
That was a heart attack.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was a roller coaster of emotions right there.
The Browns game, that was wild. Like, I mean, us to getting smoked by the Texans, that's an inconsistency of a game for sure. Like,
that was awful.
Vikings game, that was another one. Like, it's just bad. So what's your guys' thoughts on that too? Like, I just want to hear from you on that and think about consistency as a team.
Well, I think it's also consistency of staying healthy too, though. I mean, I guess you can't really talk about it without bringing up that whole point, is that, I mean, as long as we stay healthy, we can stay more consistent, you know, and that's But the biggest though too is that like I was just talking about that last night with someone at this hotel. Is that like because the question came up is like how do they deal with like concussions and stuff? And these days they actually have more concussion protocols. And so
Yep.
so like I think Bosa, he had the concussion protocol on him like once or twice the year, so he was out 2 games because of that, and that could be a big thing that could ruin like our season as well. Is just somebody is out on the wrong time.
Agreed.
And so but that's just playing football, it's a violent sport,
Yeah.
It's not a tickling contest.
That's right. Take a wiggle.
No, it's getting a little softer these days,
Yeah, it is definitely softer for the quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
sure,
like quarterbacks are you can't barely touch them. It's like so.
Yeah.
So it's what's wild. So
yeah. Well, one last point that I was going to say about that too is that we just need to come in with a game with swagger and confidence and play our game.
I agree,
and that's the
I
thing.
agree.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes we play on their level, not our level, and so we have all the talent in the world. We should play as a talented team and a talented coaching staff, and just dominate. Like, let's play our game and just do our thing. Let's go back to like Air Coryell days where it's like, hey, let's just freaking bomb the ball and just get the ball downfield and rack up some yards and touchdowns and score it up. But I think we have a defense that can really hold up too. So hopefully we don't have COVID games this year, by the way, and it sounds like there's no COVID protocols going in this year with the NFL, which is great. So hopefully we don't have COVID games.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing I would add on that as well too is consistency, and also I think consistency on the coaching staff, right? Again, last week we talked about the hot seat, right? Look, Joe Lombardi was criticized very heavily for some of his play calling, right? And I do wonder if he didn't map out the right way of starting these games, right? Because we did very poor in the first quarter, went well in the second quarter, made some good adjustments, and then sometimes did well third and fourth quarter, right? So I think that's coaching. That is 110% coaching, right? And again, you got to win this. You got to score points to win. You also got to stop them to win, right? And last season, I think we had some problems, kind of doing a little bit of consistency on both sides of the ball, right? Again, that's been my argument across the board. Why a first-time head coach and coaching staff across the board will be very different. And it's very difficult, right? That's why I really don't think the Broncos will do that great. I think they'll be okay. And I'm not convinced that the Raiders are going to be that great.
Yeah.
With McDaniels. I just don't see them doing that well with him.
New coach there.
New coach, new staff.
Mm-hmm. The back end of that defense is pretty soft too.
Yeah, it's very soft, right?
Yep.
So, again, it goes back to coaching, but it also goes back to execution, right? Now, one last thought. I know I kind of talked a little long about this, but I do think what Joe Lombardi should do is run 2 plays, right? A running play and a pass play and maybe an audible, and let Justin Herbert make the decision on what he wants to do, seeing what's in front of him on the defense, right? So, I think that could be very interesting. And it also means that Justin Herbert takes over the team and is going to be the general on the field. So I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. I guess I was thinking about even having a new head coach. It's kind of like you being new at a brand new job. It's all great and dandy until it really starts getting down to boiling point of show it on the field.
Yeah.
And so everything sounds fantastic. You got this guy that coached Aaron Rodgers. He's got now Russell Wilson. He's got all these tools, and McDaniels came over from the Patriots, and this is his second time. Now he's going to bring over that Tom Brady mentality over here, and it's just, dude, show it on the field. You don't know what the working relationship is.
Yeah, it's going to boil down to execution. Period. Right? Yep, 100%. So I would say this. My last thought, at least, is we built some nice momentum last year. We're going to play with a chip on our shoulders.
Yeah.
The one person that a lot of people keep sleeping on, though, is Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, everyone keeps going, he's getting old, yada, yada. But here's my thing. Dude, he's 31 years old and nobody believes in him. And he's a quiet dude. And he just sits back and just like, all right, keep saying what you want to say, and I'm going to go out there and smack the guy liner off your face.
That's right.
Car.
That's right.
Clown, dude. Hate that guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll take him out week one.
I mean, that's so true though. I don't know why they can be sleeping on him so much. I mean, he's a 3-time All-Pro edge rusher.
Yep.
So and he did it twice with Chicago.
Yep.
Under Brandon Staley's system. He only did it once with the Raiders, and a lot of Raiders fans are like, "Oh, he wasn't good. He's never was good until he was, well, after he left the Raiders." Like, dude, like he had one injury year, and that was just last year, and so and he wants to play. He wants to get that championship, and now he has a super supporting cast, in the backfield and at the front line with him. It's it's going to be over for the Raiders, Chiefs, and Broncos, I should say the Rapers, Donkeys, and the Chefs.
The Chefs.
Yeah. So
I know. I have a buddy who's a Broncos fan, and he always says, like when he tries to make a point about the Broncos, he always goes hee-haw, hee-haw every time, and I'm like, what are you talking about here, dude?
That's funny.
Yeah, what a weirdo, dude.
But I guess I'll say this though too. That's my last thought. Is that the Broncos and the Raiders both have like that new coaching staff. So on that comment you guys were saying, like Staley, his first year coaching for us was last year, and we just barely missed the playoffs. Barely. And then the Raiders, of course, they had coach problems in the middle of the season. They made it, which was fortunate, but like the supporting coaching staff was there, and they already knew the system pretty well.
Yeah.
So my point is that I fully agree that like they're gonna have issues. The Donkeys and the Rapers are gonna be like ridiculous. It's gonna be a tough time for them, and understandably so. So
yeah. And bolt up, baby, you did a great. That's a great point. This team could definitely go 14-3. I mean, 13-4. I mean, definitely if we go into that record late in the season, I mean, we'll have definitely a bye at the minimum. We potentially could be number 1 seed with that type of record too. At a 14-3, that seems very possible because once again, I think the biggest competition is going to be the Bills too. Bills are going to be a very, very big competition to take the number 1 seed, but they have a tough division also too. So we'll see how that one plays out. But Aether got the question about if Gilman is out, played by Webb, will they still keep Webb? My second question is Coach Staley calling the defense, how serious he is about taking competition, knowing he is going against Herbert. So Gilman and Webb, I mean, those are very back end kind of guys. And I know there was a lot of talk about Webb kind of having a pretty good camp. And once again, Webb was injured last season. There was a lot of hype in him. I mean, he's a 7th-round pick. 7th-round pick is not a guaranteed position by any means.
No, for sure. You're practically an undrafted free agent.
Basically, Mr. Irrelevant for the team.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So, Alohi's good. He's solid. He's got a lot of field time too. Webb definitely's got a lot of talk. That's a camp battle that we're going to have to watch. So we'll see how that one plays out. And I think that we'll see. The one thing I like about Webb is that he was actually a really good player coming out of Georgia. And, and notice that Georgia this last draft had so many people drafted from him, obviously because they won a national championship. So that makes a big difference there too. So Staley about calling the defense. I mean, how serious is he about competition, knowing he's going against Herbert? I mean, iron sharpens iron, I guess is what I'm trying to say. What I'm thinking you're asking. He's very serious about calling the defense and making sure that he has his defense sharp to play against a player like Herbert. So, your defense is only going to get stronger with higher competition being thrown at you. And Herbert's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So, the defense is only going to get stronger with the competition between offense and defense in our team. So
yeah, I agree. Now, I'll get one last thought on that too, as well too. Gilman and Webb, I think Staley's very high on both of them.
Yep.
So, and that's a good thing, right? Because again, I keep coming back to what we had major problems with last year, and it was really depth, right? Again, we talked about the Texans game, which still just is like a dagger in my heart when I think about that stupid game, because if we'd won that game, which we should have won that game, biggest reason why we didn't win the game is because we had no depth. We had zero depth on the defensive side of the ball. And they just, I still remember, we should show that clip of Brandon Staley. He was so frustrated because you remember the press conference when he's up there? We did absolutely nothing right on defense. I've never seen him, like you could tell there was steam escaping from his ears.
Yeah.
Because
it's like the cartoons.
Well, okay, think of it for a second. Going back to calling a game, Brandon Staley calls the perfect play, and yet your team cannot stop the other team.
Yeah.
So this person did not do that. This person went this way, the play went that way.
Yep.
But the play was supposed to go that way, and they did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How frustrating is that for a coach, right? Think of that for just a second.
It's crazy.
And I know, look, here's the thing about Staley too. I would say Staley probably puts it on himself. I didn't coach them correctly.
Yep.
And so that's hard, right? Again, you have to remember, these are people out there on the field giving their all and playing a game, right? So anyways, there's a lot to be said about that. So it's nice to have Gilman. It's nice to have Webb. I think it's great to have depth, and I'm excited to see both of them. I think we're going to see rotation guys too. I don't think people are going to be sitting out the whole games. They're going to rotate people in and out, especially the first few games of the season. There's going to be a lot of rotations, in my opinion.
The thing about it is like if he doesn't make the team, it doesn't mean he's not going to make the practice squad. So they could easily throw them in there too. And the thing is, a lot of people keep talking about Xander and how he got picked up, and they're talking big things about him and everything. I mean, I look at it as like another depth piece to this team. And
100%.
Easily could be a guy on the practice squad. Once again, he's a 7th round guy too. There's no guarantees by any means, even getting drafted the 7th round. So he could easily get thrown over to practice squad just to add that depth or keep him in the system. So,
makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that, Herb. I could see that, Herb.
So I would say, I mean, I think Staley takes every team seriously.
Every team.
I mean, you got to recognize too is like this is the nice. Hey, we got someone from Twitch joining us now.
Hey, excellent.
So I would say Coach Staley does take every single team seriously because this is the NFL. Every team is paid to play. Everyone is, every team can win any given Sunday. And obviously, as you were saying, the Texans were absolute trash last year, and we lost to them. So what does that make us?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, so like if we have to look at it like that, like I guarantee that Staley, at least this year, if it wasn't last year, this year he's making sure that every team is respected enough that we have to plan, prepare, and execute to the fullest extent.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I remember we were all sitting there at a restaurant watching that game together. And we were all stunned. Like, what are we watching right now? What team just showed up here? This is
we were all together in Arizona. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, that was the chokers that showed up. That's what it was.
Man, so frustrating.
Or no, his grandpa would say it's the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders are out on the field today.
Oh man. Yeah, Herb, it is one of those things. I mean, you did bring up the whole thing about practice squad. I mean, there is also worries that people are going to get picked up off our practice squad. So,
big time. Yep.
I mean, that's definitely going to be something that they're going to look at because they know we have a lot of depth already right now. And so, once again, we've talked about in the past videos that 53-man squad is going to be difficult for us to figure out. Very difficult. There's not a lot of room for a lot of other guys on this team. It's pretty much a well over stacked team. Now, once again, hate talking about it, but injuries do happen during training camp. So, things shift around, but you would hope that it's not going to be 10 people that get injured. It's, it's a couple people with bruises here and there that you can kind of put on basically some sort of list, a pup list or whatnot. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, but yeah, definitely it could be totally possible that our practice squad could get picked up. A lot of our players off there.
Yeah, I think the league realizes we have a lot of depth, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, everything I've ever read about anybody or anything I've seen is everyone's like, wow, they got a lot of good players over there. And, and Brandon Staley, he's got an eye for talent. He knows what he's picking up, right? And you talked about Xander Horvath. Xander Horvath, I think, is definitely going to be our short yardage guy. Yeah. He's going to be our bruiser back. 100%. I think you got super finesse with, obviously, Austin Eckler. Isaiah Spiller's a little bit more in the middle, more power, finesse, and then you got Xander Horvath that's just going to be a hammer, just smashing the ball right up the middle, which I think is great, right? So, you need people like that. Plus, he's going to be a good special teamer. So, it's really good to see.
And just carrying on to kind of our subject here and to what kind of makes a successful season for us. But I think we kind of already dabbled on that one. I'm kind of passed by it, but I think bottom line, win the division is going to show
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
I mean, we kind of chatted already about the Chiefs. They've won it 6 years in a row. They got to 2 Super Bowls and won one. that would be a huge step in the right direction and actually hopefully shift a little bit of the momentum the Chiefs have. And I do truly think that this is a year that we could really, really push past them. So I don't know if we really want to talk too much about that, but I know that's something that I threw out there on the list.
No, I will just say this. You're right. We need to make a statement, right?
Mhm.
We've got to show up and win the division. And every time, by the way, I watched pretty much the whole last season over again. I don't know if I've told you that. I've watched every game over again. I've watched so much, and I'm like, oh man, like we should have won this. We should have won this. We should. There were just little things, right? It's what we call it the game of inches. But we've got to send a message to the league. Hey, look, the Chargers are back in town, and we're supposed to be feared, right? You should fear us. Right. And again, we could talk about execution, defense, all the above, but winning the division is where it starts. And by the way, guys, I am putting money on the Chargers this year.
Oh yeah,
Vegas bet's happening. I'm working it through. I'm going to send you screenshots. You will see it. I will be throwing money on this. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Trust me, it's going to happen. So, Herbert, MVP, Coach of the Year, Brandon Staley, all the above. Hey, I'm doing it.
Great
I'm
doing it. We got to get 14-3, win the division.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and I want to put the money where the mouth is too, and challenge all the other Chargers podcasts out there. So let's.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a hold of the director. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, let's get a hold of the director. Let's get a hold of the guilty as charged, all them people.
Hey,
like this.
You guys throwing money at this or what? Dude?
Yeah,
come on now. Come on now.
Let's do this.
Maybe you guys should put together all of your money on one bet, and then you guys just kind of like separated at that point. You get a 10th, I get a 10th, and whatever percentage you put in, kind of thing. That would be kind of cool. I don't know. Be one large bet. That would be awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that.
So. Just moving on to another expectation, and this is something that I think is really big. I mean, getting to the playoffs is big for us. And last year, not getting Herbert in the playoffs was an absolute criminal for the NFL.
So many people were upset about that.
Yeah,
100%
upset. Yeah,
that was terrible for the league, and that would have been one of the coolest things to be able to see Herbert and Burrow in the playoffs. I mean, how cool would that have been? But one thing I said is I personally think when we get to the playoffs, and I'm saying when we get to the playoffs because we are going to get to the playoffs, I say minimum we need to get to the AFC Championship game.
AFC Championship.
Minimum. Minimum. I mean, we talk about all the expectations for this team, and I mean, that's my expectation minimum at that point.
100%.
So, I don't. What is your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, I know we've chatted about it quite a bit, but
we have, guys. Yeah. When we say that we talk about the Chargers all day, that's not an understatement. We talk about the Chargers all day.
All day.
We're literally throwing articles back and forth. I mean, literally constantly talking about the Chargers.
Articles there.
So my expectation is it's going to be Chargers Bills.
Yep.
Yeah. And look, those. By the way, the NFL would want that matchup.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
You could even argue that those would be the two best teams. That's really the Super Bowl, right? Because I think a lot of people last year really kind of felt like the Rams won in kind of default fashion, right? Because the Bills weren't there.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of real fans want to see Bills, Chargers, AFC West, and then hey, whoever wins that one goes. AFC Championship, guys. Probably
win it. Of course,
agreed.
I have been seeing a lot of people analysts are saying that they think that the Rams might do a repeat year.
Could be.
They could make it all the way as well, and that's pretty wild to me. Think.
And the conspiracy theorists in me would say, "Man, Chargers go, Rams go,
Woo!
Chargers Rams Super Bowl, holy smokes,
holy moly!"
I mean, I'm telling you guys, hey, it's LA, dude, it's LA, it's LA.
Yeah,
we talked about that early on in our podcast. We talked about that early on in our podcast. Was the Rams Super Bowl basically a bought Super Bowl, basically for building a $5 billion stadium, moving from St. Louis? Ironically, I think the NFL recently threw out the lawsuit against the Rams from the city of St. Louis for the move. So they had a lot of control with this whole move. What if they, had a little bit of whispers in the background saying, "Hey man, move to LA and guess what? We'll give you a Super Bowl," kind of thing.
That's right. That's right.
100%. Yeah. Well,
it's LA. It's LA, right? I mean,
LA.
It's LA.
Yeah. But here's the thing too, though, the Bills, they're getting a new stadium too. So
they are.
So I would not be surprised to see them win a Super Bowl here pretty soon because of that situation as well. Like, I mean,
interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But are they going to get the championship before or after the stadium's built, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other part of the conversation too.
I would say it's probably before and probably the year before. the stadium.
You think
will.
so? You think so?
Yeah.
See, I would say the year after. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think?
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
I mean, we're gonna beat them every year, though. Just so you know, we're gonna beat them every year. They gonna beat us. They gonna beat us. It ain't happening.
Well, did you see? I sent over that picture that ESPN talks about teams, the top 5 teams in the NFL for the next 3 years, based upon their quarterbacks, defense, coaching, defense, all that. And actually, they had the Chargers as number 5, so the number 5 team for the next 3 years.
I saw that.
So that's pretty big.
And again, getting to the Super Bowl, a big part of that's also being healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You got to get a little lucky at times too.
Got to get hot when the right time. Too.
Exactly correct. I mean, that's what was so impressive with the Patriots. Their championships that they've won, because it's difficult, right? It's not an easy sport. So, yeah, no, I like that. So, well, actually, let's answer this question for Aether here real quick. Let's go back. I wanted to go there. So, Aether's question about who do you think will be picked up?
It was the most interesting matchup you're looking at in the schedule outside of the Division 2 games. Indy or versus the Rams. I mean, my opinion, it's going to be the Rams. And why I'm saying
100% Rams.
We're about Battle of LA once again, and to be honest, just like what we were talking about in the point, what if it ends up being Chargers versus Rams in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
I mean, that would be an LA matchup once again, battle of basically LA truly for the Super Bowl and for the championship.
Well, we play them in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that New Year's Day?
Oh yeah, New Year's Day we play against the Rams.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah,
and that's week 17, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what if we're like a division lock? We've already maybe got our spot. Who knows, right? But what if we play them then? And then play them again in the Super Bowl. Whew, my gosh.
Goodness.
I mean, amazing TV, right?
Yeah.
Amazing TV.
Great. That'd be great TV to watch.
That'll be the Battle of LA right there. Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Well, we play them in the preseason too. So
we do play them in preseason.
Of course, that'll just be a tickling.
That's a tickling contest for sure. So whatever.
That's whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I did have a comment on that earlier. Is that preseason does matter a lot, because this is the make or to break it thing for a lot of the players on the team. Because the 53-man squad gets picked after preseason.
Yeah.
So I would like to see what happens with Xander Horvath and of course Spiller, what happens, because in a lot of ways I don't know if Horvath is going to make the team, because we would have 2 fullbacks on the team. I mean, we could use it for other positions,
See, this is why I wanted to keep this one up here, because I actually think Xander Horvath will make the team.
Okay, there you go.
And I think Gabe Neighbors will not make the team.
Oh, interesting.
So that's my pick. And I think the reason why I think that is because I think Xander Horvath has more value across the board, right?
Right.
Again, I think Brandon, here's my thought, and agree or disagree with me. I really don't think that the coaching staff wants players that are one-trick ponies. We talked about this a couple times too.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Horvath is he's a running back.
Yep.
He's big. He can play special teams. And he could do things a little bit differently than Gabe. At least Gabe Neighbors didn't show us that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, again, has he done it yet in the NFL? Of course not. But at the end of the day, I sit back and think, well, I think he could do a better job than potentially Gabe Neighbors, moving forward.
Sure.
So,
yeah. All right. I mean, we'll have to see that. I mean, training camp starts – has the rookie training camp side of it has already started.
Yep.
Official training camp
correct.
is starting this week.
Right.
And so
I think it's tomorrow, right? Isn't it tomorrow?
Yeah, I think tomorrow that's when all the veterans are showing up.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
the veterans show up, and then they have the first open training camp
for
Wednesday,
fans to show up.
right?
Correct. It's on the 27th. It's gonna be fun, man, guys.
I'm gonna be really good.
My pocketbook is gonna hurt. I'm gonna buy some stuff. Better believe it. We already saw a Charger poncho that I'm gonna buy down at Old Town San Diego. I should have bought it, but
that's great.
Yeah, we'll be wearing it down there at the stadium for sure. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it came with one of those necklace things too. So
it was pretty sweet, pretty
cool.
sweet. Yeah, so we'll buy some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see our gear fitted out here pretty soon.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right. Awesome.
But by the way, anybody get in the chat going to be there at open practice? Because we are going to be there. So we would love to see you. Connect with us.
Yeah,
for sure.
That'd be awesome.
The whole point of us doing this is we want to meet people. And talk to Charger fans and have some fun.
Yep.
So love to see you there.
Right.
Yep. Moving along to another subject here too, and what would make a successful season. And maybe I'm a little bit just hopeful because I think there still has been some disrespect for him. But Justin Herbert becomes an official elite top 3 quarterback in the league.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that definitely needs to happen this season. And I'm not saying that he has to make or win the MVP or anything like that. I'm just saying solidify his position as a top 3 quarterback in the league. And Kyle was talking a lot about like, hey, maybe we should chat about kind of the Madden ratings and everything. I mean, you guys probably all saw that social media post about how they disrespected, Herbert with under a 90 and they had Dak Prescott ahead of him. And you're like, that doesn't make sense, man.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. He had to be 90 minimum, in my opinion. But once again, is that the West Coast, East Coast kind of thing? Is there,
right.
And obviously the Dallas Cowboys, they always say they're America's team. Oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl. I think Andy sent over a thing where they're going to go, what was it? 17 or 16-1 this season. And they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, Zeke Elliott doesn't even seem like he's a good running back anymore. Last season, he would look terrible. And
he did not look good last year.
Mm-hmm. So I just don't think that's possible, but whatever. I mean, every season's totally different, but every year, every Dallas Cowboy thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl and they don't. And they got to just win a playoff game first off. But bottom line, I'm saying that Herbert's just going to solidify himself as a top 3 quarterback in this league. So I think that's for sure where I'm going to be saying as a minimum for him and an expectation this season, Herbert's going to solidify himself this year.
I think he can be an MVP, right? One of the things that I think about too, again, the coaching staff, second year for Justin Herbert under the same offense, right? And look, guys, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy. Like he knows that he understands the game. So I think if he's there in his second year, he'll do better, right? That's why I really think, he could do some more audibles and do some more interesting things, be the general on the field. So, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that thought that I think he's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
Right. I think he can. Right now, if we get to obviously the AFC West the AFC Championship game. Oh yeah, I think that's definitely a big shot because look, he's the big name, right? A lot of let's not kid about this. It's a bit of a popularity contest to this to some degree, winning these things, right? Oh, Brandon Staley, he's a young coach. He's changed the game. Let's make him the coach of the year. Oh, let's make Justin Herbert MVP because he had an amazing season with all these problems or whatever. So that's how the NFL works, guys. I mean, that's the inner workings of all that.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. And the truth is too, is that like, Justin Herbert's not the only one that's being disrespected. I mean, obviously we saw like Derwin James, like they're saying he's not a top 10 safety. Like, but then Madden, they respect him. They put him as top 2. So
exactly.
Yeah. And then, who else? I think someone said, Bosa and Mac aren't like all that much either though. Like they're throwing all kinds of shade over at the Chargers now, man. I'm like, what is this now? Come on now. Hey.
Yeah, so we're going to put the offensive rankings down here as well, too, so you guys can read them.
There you go.
This is what they are. We'll go offense, and then we'll go defense, and then we'll go from there. So you can at least take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
See,
some of the players there.
Smoke coming out of your ears. Like, oh, come on, guys. Like, come on now. Disrespect. And by the way, Bolta, baby, come link up with us. We'll be down there for sure. So, where's Thunder Alley going to be? Are they just going to be in the parking lot?
I mean, we're probably not going to be able to miss it. I mean, they'll have their pop-ups. They'll have the flags out. There'll be music. They'll be loud, proud. Bolt pride.
Okay, so come hang out with us at Thunder Alley. We'll be there for sure. So link up with us.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, last little point that I had here about a successful season too. I just said that the defense will come together, and Brandon Staley's defense basically too. Yep. So, and Andy talked about it too. We're not looking for a number 1 defense. It'd be awesome.
I would love that.
To have that. We just want like a top 10 defense. We'd be good with that. So we're just looking to be able to have a solid defense all around. I mean, with all the pickups that we've had, even some of the respect, I think JC Jackson was in the top 10 of the, Madden rankings too, as a cornerback in the game. You got obviously Mac and Bosa on the edge. I mean, you got a lot of talent on this team throughout. It's definitely seems very set up that we're going to have a much better defense than we had last year. This seems to be Brandon Staley's defense and guys that have been in his system, like including Morgan Fox is another name that's been out there that he's been in that same
Reader.
system too.
Yeah, Troy Reader as well.
Sebastian Joseph Day.
Troy Reader. Day. Yeah.
Blockbuster Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blockbuster Boys, baby. Yeah. Rent them.
And by the way, guys, we are going to be
VHS
getting some merch out there as well, too. We've been talking about it quite a bit. We are getting some merch out there.
Yep.
So we're going to take some time. Some cool shirts coming our way, some more sunglasses, all kinds of stuff. So
Coming
pretty cool, fun stuff that we want to make for ourselves. And if you want to buy it, great. If you don't, no big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
No big deal. But yeah, we're excited to be able to get that out there. But bottom line, we're just looking to be able to get a better defense all around. So
yeah,
I'm excited to be able to see that happen this season, and that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some inventive things, right? I mean, look, Brandon Staley finally is the head coach and can do whatever he wants to do. Look, I think he's actually going to reinvent his defense to some degree, right? Again, people keep talking about 5-1-5. Yes, they kind of did that at the Rams as well, but I think he's going to really change it around. Now that he's head coach, I guarantee McVay said, that's a great idea, but yeah, he had to rein him in a little bit. I guarantee Brandon Staley's going to come out with his own type of blitz packaging.
Sure.
And just a different form of defense. So I think there's going to be some really interesting things that we're going to see from him this year. Especially, think about it. You got Kyle Van Noy, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack on the same field at the same time. Whoa. Come on now, right? There's a lot of interesting little formations they can use with those guys.
Yeah.
Just on the line alone,
right.
Anyways, defense is going to be, look, I'll tell you right now, we're going to win and lose the season with our defense. 100%. 100%.
I believe it.
100%. Because last year we had no defense.
Right. But that's also why Brandon Staley is going to win Coach of the Year, because he's going to flip the script of what the defense was.
Very true.
From last year to this year, and it's going to be now he's going to bring them from the bottom 5 or to maybe at least top 10. And I think that's going to be golden.
100%.
So we're going to have at least 32 sacks in the season between Mack and Bosa. You're going to have maybe in the 20s as far as interceptions go for the year. That might be a little too much. I don't know, but hey,
hey, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know. Whatever, we'll make it happen.
Yeah. Bottom line, I think somebody even said something about that Bosa and Mack combined will have about 35 sacks between them two, and I was like, holy moly, think about that!
That's a lot of sacks.
That's a lot of sacks, dude. I don't know if that's possible, but that's a high expectation. But if that happens, they're going to be Defensive Player of the Year battling it against each other, dude. It might be 2 TJ Watts out there, basically. That would be incredible to see something like that. But this expectations for this defense is very, very high. We expect a lot more from this defense, and we need to have a better defense. Just what some of the questions that we answered earlier, just talking about our defense in general, that's going to be required to be able to win a championship. So I think that's going to be a big, big point for us. So I know we got another question here. Aether, I think, brought another question too. He said, people make a big deal with 1 seed. I truly believe number 2 seeds is just as important. You get two playoff games at home. It's obviously with Tennessee last year, and then basically losing the 1 seed and getting smoked in their first game. The thing about it is, I feel like sometimes getting the 1 seed is a curse. We as Chargers fan in the 14-2 season, that's pretty much what happened to us, because you have that bye week and you kind of relax a little bit. I think, you kind of mentally check out just for a little bit, and then you try to get engaged again. And so I do think there's a little bit of a curse to that. It's nice to keep momentum going and not have a break per se. But, once again, if we did have some injuries and maybe we get our guys back a week later, that's might not be a bad thing for us too. So it's all situational at that time, in my opinion. So,
yeah. And I think you lose momentum too, right? Sometimes when you get that bye week, look, I think it's nice if you get hot at the end of the season, you stay hot and you just keep going. You keep cooking. Yep. Frying them eggs up, flipping the bacon.
That's right.
I don't know why I thought about bacon and eggs. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know, because you're hungry, bro.
I am hungry.
Trying to.
It is dinner time here.
Dinner time. Yeah, we about to get ourselves some food.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hey, just want to say, by the way, Richie, I did get your message on our podcast. And I know you did want to reach out and do a kind of an AFC collaboration. And we're totally willing to do that. I just had no way to find out where you were and respond to you. Yeah. So I couldn't find you on Instagram, Twitter, or any of that stuff. So hit us up. Our email's on YouTube. We're everywhere, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even too. We're out there. Bolt Bros Podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, message us. Like we'll do collabs and jump on yours, and we can represent the Chargers for your AFC West show. So that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Or
but,
hey, another thing too we can do is we can create a whole division of fantasy football where we have AFC West versus AFC East, AFC North, all that stuff. That'd be kind of interesting, right? Yeah. So
that would be wild.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Big league. That'd be
love
big league.
Love playing at AFC fantasy football, man.
Oh my gosh,
the best.
Yeah.
The best. I remember what is the last season? I remember when we were at a restaurant or something like that. It was around Christmas, and I needed Deontay Johnson to get me a couple points to be able to seal the deal to be able to get into the championship game. And I remember I was in the restaurant, and I think we were in Gilbert here in Arizona. And I think I was watching, I believe was it a Bears Seahawks game last year. And I think they got a field goal, or they needed to get like a field goal, and Deontay Johnson needed to get me like 2 points.
That's right. I remember that.
Oh, dude, I jumped in when finally Deontay Johnson got a touchdown in like the last second, and like garbage.
It was
time.
like junkyards, total junkyards.
And dude, I jumped out of my seat and was so amped. I was like, yeah, I'm going to the championship. Oh, that was great. That was a great time. That's the best thing. I think
that was another reason why the Steelers game was so bad for Andrew over here, because because Austin Eckler, got like 5 touchdowns that game or something.
No. You had Alvin Kamara.
No. Yep. But you were playing against James the Steelers game, and that's when Eckler went ham.
That's right. I remember that. Oh my god,
that's right. Yeah. What do you have? 4 touchdowns that game, I think.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, a hat trick plus 1. It was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Jeez. I think Richie had a question too. So how do you? I know he says.
How do you best address?
Yes. Yeah. Address the 1-4 finish to the season in 2021 in 2022.
Yep.
How do you do enough to keep strong to the end, man? I mean, we chatted about that a little bit earlier in the podcast 100%. Too. We just got to make sure we keep our foot on the gas and play consistencies of games. I mean, there's a lot of how that season ended last season was, that's not good December and I should say January football too. We have to find a way to play consistent. And I mean, really, if you break down basically that Chiefs game, that was kind of that pivoting point for us for how our season kind of ended.
100%.
It's like we had it, and then we lost it. Yep. And then we ended up losing against the Texans, and then we ended up beating the Broncos, and then we ended up losing to the Raiders kind of thing. And we have to find a way to play consistency of football. And the thing is, though, I'll say this with Brandon Staley and what they built in this offseason, I think they did a great job of making sure we have a lot of depth throughout this team. And guys 100%. That have been in the system too. So there's very much a lot of plug and play kind of players right now for this team. So you can't expect, for instance, that Texan game. Well, who won that game really was COVID. COVID was the winner in that one. But if we won that game, we would have been in the playoffs. And so it would have only taken 1 win out of that basically the last 4 or 5 games for us. And so it was pretty tough for us. And Bryce Callahan was a great pickup for us. He needs to stay healthy. I mean, that's another guy that's right there that could have a great season for us and have a very good, and once again, plug and play kind of player too for us. So we just need consistency. And Herbert talked a lot about that. And I'm sure that Brandon Staley's thinking the same thing too. So,
yep.
So,
no, exactly. I agree 100%. And I think it was really a momentum issue. I think COVID was a problem.
Yep.
And I think, look, it just showed you how bad our depth was. But again, I go back to what happened at the end of the season. If you guys should probably watch the recap of Brandon Staley's season recap.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. If you think about it, what he said. I mean, I actually watched it about a month ago again, just kind of randomly because I'm a nerd like that. I really am.
I've watched a lot of games. I've watched a lot of games from last season, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just I'm ready for football.
Yeah, no. And so, but just remember seeing what he said, and he consistently talked about all 3 phases of the game.
Yep.
He knew that our defense was horrible. Our offense was great, and our special teams wasn't that great, right? And so for him, he also knew that he had horrible depth on those two sides of the ball, but offense was fine. What did we do to the entire draft and every move we did in the offseason to fix that problem? That was it.
Right.
And so it just goes to show you that, look, he's a man with a plan. He understands our weaknesses. He understands our blind spots. And you can't win in the NFL with gaping holes.
No.
And just those last few games, unfortunately, we just did not have the depth. You know, COVID hit us, which was so stupid to me. And then in all these, it just exposed us, unfortunately. And teams also knew, hey, they're going to run the ball to the left side. We get more yards that way. They're not going to run the ball to the right side because they don't get more yards that way. And so we kind of became figured out a little bit at the end of the season, in my opinion. So again, depth was huge, and I think that's filled us. So anyways,
agreed.
You know, and I even actually think too, like that our special teams was just killing us as well,
big time.
You know, and realistically, like, you know, why we went for it so much on fourth down is because our special teams was a hot mess as well, and largely part because he recognized that our depth was awful.
100%. You know, 100%.
And so because that's the most people that are on special teams is just depth players.
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah, and if we can't make field goals and we know we can't punt the ball like very well, we got to just hold on to the ball and make Justin Herbert make it happen.
100%.
And so, and we actually, and that was actually something that I know a lot of people aren't talking about enough, is that Ryan Fiken getting in there.
Bolt up, don't punt.
That's right. Bolt up, don't punt.
Right.
That's going to be a shirt coming out.
It's coming out.
Coming out soon.
We got that in the work. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we did address everything for that as well, because we have a whole new coach for special teams who flipped the script on the Vikings as well. So, I mean, hey, he might even be able to win Coach of the Year as well. I mean, that would be kind of a weird pick for a special teams coach.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, and it's probably never going to happen. You know, it's always going to be head coach kind of award. You know,
For sure.
I mean,
for sure.
But maybe there is an award for special teams, and a defensive, offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator. You know, too. So, I don't know. I mean, hey, people like the awards. You know, so that's good. So,
100%.
So
you know, and last question over here. Ether was talking about 5-1 division. Is that realistic, or is that asking too much of our team? You know, 5-1 would win the division, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're done deal.
That would be fantastic, because I'm kind of almost looking at like this division could essentially be a 3-3 for all of the teams in the division. It could just be just a bloodbath, and everybody just stays at 500.
Right. Yeah,
and I think that's where it could be. If you could become a 4-2 team, like if I'll say this, if we start out playing against obviously two division teams and we start 2-0, that's a massive win for us to give us like a nice momentum going into the season, because we know we have two division wins under our belt right then and there, and then the other teams are 1 or 0-1. I don't know the exact schedule of who's going to play who, but that would be a massive, massive win for the Chargers to start 2-0 if they beat the Raiders, beat the Chiefs. So
that would be huge.
I
think we start 2-0. Life is good. You know, we're in the catbird seat. We can move forward.
Yeah.
And again, let's make no mistake about it, guys. A big part of this game is momentum, right? And having momentum going the right way.
Right.
But again, I can also say this too. I would rather start slow, finish strong. In the NFL. Same thing with any sport, for that matter, right? Baseball, anything, right? You know, you it's okay. You just got to get there. You just got to get to the dance.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think 5-1's not going to happen. You know,
I think, like kind of to your guys' points, whoever's going to get 4-2, that's going to win the division.
Yeah. I think so.
So like, it's really going to be 3-3 for all the way towards the end. You know, like it's like you said, it's going to be a bloodbath. You know. I mean,
AFC best. It's best division.
I'm going to say though too, the Raiders are probably going to like be 2-4. You know, at the best. You know, so just because their defense is not that good. You know, so that's just my opinion on that. So, and you know, I don't know. We can go into that a little bit more, maybe in another episode. Yeah,
definitely we can.
Definitely. But just like Richie Riche said, and he said, 4-2 wins the AFC West for sure. So
and again, guys, we're a paper team. We're a paper team, right? I mean, we look good on paper, but hey, we haven't done anything at this point. So
that's right.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think I guess final thoughts for me, right? I'm excited for the season. Hey, I'm excited to be there on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be good.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. And so, look, connect with us. Why we're doing this is we want to connect with you guys, right? So you let us know what's going on, and we'll definitely collaborate with you, Rich, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a good season. I'm ready.
It's gonna be great times. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season too. I'm just looking forward to the training camp to start up this week too. Like I'm excited. I love seeing like Instagram posts, just plays that they had at training camp, and just seeing all those fun little things, that amazing catches or a great play by a defensive player or whatnot. Like I'm just ready for the season, and I mean we have high expectations for this team this year, and I'm just excited that the season's about to get going. So I'm ready for it, man. So last thoughts there, Kyle.
Yeah, man, we ready. We ready.
We hungry.
We ready, man. It's like, yeah. So yeah. We I don't know, man. I'm really excited. I'm gonna be going to the preseason games too.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be just like out there at tailgates before and after, just hanging out. Like I said, we'll be doing this kind of live. It'll be a little bit different, obviously. Like, James and Andrew will probably be like at home for some of those times. Some of them they might come out with me.
Yep.
And then during the game, like I'll jump in, like, during the quarter, whatever, kind of give the kind of the play on the field kind of stuff, It's like, yeah, because I'm gonna be out here. I live out here in LA, so yeah. But of course we're in San Diego right now. But yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be good times. The future is looking bright, of course, but we always know that we sometimes always seem to wet the bed. Let's be real about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the Chargers they have a golden opportunity right this year to take the division back from the Chiefs.
Yep.
And we just got to capitalize on it. Like
we really do.
And like at bare minimum, the Chargers have to win the division, and if they don't, it's going to be a complete bust. We're going to still be the laughing stock of the league, at least for the AFC side. I mean, we can talk about the other teams, and that's what I'm hopeful on. And I am a little worried about that, but I'm hopeful that we're gonna make this thing happen this year.
Exactly right.
No, I agree, man. I agree. I'm looking forward to it going into the season. I think we have a lot of high hopes here too, and Richie Rich just basically talked about. He's like, we did well both in the draft and the free agency, and nobody really looked at the right tackle, which is really strange.
Especially with the pass rushers we have in the division too, right?
Yeah, because these pass rushers in this division are tough.
Beasts.
Tough. So it's going to be interesting to see how their lines hold up. So, once again, thanks guys, everybody, for showing up, hanging out, chatting, and giving us some extra content to add to the episode. Once again, like, share, send our videos, tell your other Bolt Bros out there about our channel. We'd love to be able to get more people jumping into these chats.
And tell them about our challenge for the fantasy league too. We want we want the director, we want Chargers and Lees, guilty as charged, Bolt Dad, Craig Smith. We want them all in our fantasy league, man. That'll be great.
Yep. Let's get it, dude. That would be amazing. That would be amazing time.
The Chargers content creators fantasy league.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
That'd be great. That would be great.
So good.
But once again, just to wrap it up, I'm James. Got my two bros out in San Diego right now, Kyle and Andy. They will be at the training camp all Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to be able to watch that.
Absolutely.
See what it's all about over there. That's going to be an exciting time. And I mean, it'd be cool to be able to hear some of the fans there and some of their thoughts too, and kind of hear a little bit about what other fans are thinking. And maybe you could hand out some Bolt Bros shades too,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. That's a good spot. But once again, Bolt Bros, we are here. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate all the love and comments and everything. Bolt Bros, we are out. Let's go.